actually, when we first met, the first time I saw him was we were at Concordia College in St. Paul, Minnesota.
We were in choir together and also in an organization that was a ministry to youth called Lutheran Youth Encounter.
So in the fall when we came, we had tryouts to be, in these little groups. And so I went into the music hall, and there's this tall, handsome guy coming down from the other end of the hall, and I thought, oh, surely this couldn't be somebody coming to a tryout. Probably he's just passing through to go into a football practice or something, but maybe. Sure enough, he came in and he tried out too, and we were able to be in that group together, and that's where we met.
After we graduated from college, we got married, and our first call was to St. Paul Lutheran School in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I was principal of the Lutheran School there, 7th and 8th grade teacher, and Dawn was the choir director there. During our years there, she was very instrumental in helping to bridge the gap between the church and the school. Among the things that she did was, she never likes to do things part way. So she was helping the ladies of the congregation, and they had a fall bazaar. She was known for her bread baking, and she would make, I will say, scores of loaves of bread. I mean, close to 200, I'm not sure how many. So we came here in 1987 and joined Christ Memorial. Dawn became music director here.
They asked me to direct the adult choir, and the second thing they asked me to do was to have a children's choir. And so that was exciting too, because my kids were in elementary school, and so at one point we had the cherub choir and the junior choir, and then we had a 6th grade woodwind group, a 6th grade brass group, 7th and 8th grade woodwind and brass group, and a high school woodwind and brass group, and then we combined them all into what we called our wind symphony. What I felt different about it is they had a vision for the future, and they really cared about kids, they cared about Christian education, and they were excited about music, and they wanted to really develop a music program that would involve so many people. And of course, that was exciting to me because that's what I felt I had to offer.
When I met her, my first reaction was, wow, this is like a tornado. This is a person with unlimited ability and energy. Dawn was proficient in choral music. She herself had been a professional singer. She was also proficient at leading choirs, in children's music ministry, in festival worship and orchestra.
I was in choir before Dawn came to Christ Memorial, and so when we brought Dawn to Christ Memorial and had such an excellent, God-fearing person, it was just another blessing to me and to my family.
And has engulfed our family from that time on, involving us in children's ministry, in children's music, in musicals, in celebration and traditional types of music.
She has this unique ability to get the most out of each individual. She's always looking to take it to the next level. She challenges us, and some people have said, well, it's easy working with Dawn. It's not always really easy. There are some trying times. She's a stickler for making sure that it sounds good, and she's very talented. She puts a lot of time and effort into this ministry and her passion.
She also had a love for contemporary music.
I had been asked by Pastor Greg to help organize the celebration service that first summer, and we worked hard to get some singers and band members together, and we finally had our first praise team together, and Pastor Dave was doing the service that morning, and he said, "So, what is the name of this band?" And I looked to my left and saw Lori Minch, looked to my right, saw a bunch of guys. I said, "We're Lori, Nancy, and the guys," and that was the first praise band at Christ Memorial. Luckily, they hired Dawn that fall. She came in, did an amazing job organizing us into 2 different praise teams. We had a group of adults that were called Joyful Noise, And we had another group of young adults that was called Sunburst.
And she took it to a vastly higher and new level.
I did some digging in my video files and found some footage from that very first celebration service that Dawn did with us. So let's go back and watch a little bit. But I'm warning you, back then the ladies, we all had really big hair. Oh, and the men, they had hair.
We've had something happen that hasn't happened before. First of all, we've got a full church for celebration, and I think that that's great.
Dawn would always have us thinking out of the box and how can we use our talents out into the community as well, not just at Christ Memorial. So there were a number of occasions where we went all through the community, down to Larry Rice, Channel 24. We did a program for the church picnic over in Good Shepherd, Collinsville. We even did a live radio program, Dale Myers on Main Street. Just a number of places out in the community, had a lot of fun and witnessed to the Lord.
Eventually, Greg and Diane Mueller took over the celebration service, and they have done an amazing job. The service is a real blessing to many people today.
Dawn loves children. She raised up so many children's choirs at Green Park and in our congregation, a tireless effort. I recall that there were times that well over 100 children were participating in her choirs.
I have been in a choir with Dawn since maybe 2nd or 3rd grade, and I'm 25, so it's been like 17 years. My whole family has been in choir for as long as I've been around, and when I was very little, my grandpa, my grandma, my dad, my cousin were all in it. And I was just sitting there watching them, and I always really enjoyed listening to the music, and it helped me want to do music as I grew up. And so I joined the choir. In the 8th grade, I think Dawn asked me to join the senior choir, and I was like, oh, okay.
I've had Dawn in choir since I've been really young. A lot of different opportunities because of that. I remember when I was in grade school, we actually got an opportunity to go down to Branson and be a part of a Christmas program there, and I thought that was really neat.
I and my 2 older siblings, Heather and John, all 3 of us attended the Lutheran Music Institute that Dawn ran, and they were wonderful instructors, and we just learned a lot, and we had a really good time with those.
When I was little, I used to attend the summer camps here, and I did handbells, I did flute, I did singing, and it was just a lot of fun. We got to know each other really well, and the teachers were really amazing.
Especially Ethan and Trevor both play the French horn, and you know, Dawn's a big part of that really, because seeing the instrumental music in the sanctuary on a regular basis, it really did encourage them in their desire to be instrumental musicians.
Today I could count well over 500 graduates, should I say, alumni of her children's choirs, and many of them now are scattered throughout the United States, even internationally, and they are blessing music ministries where they are. What a wonderful heritage this is. Dawn Rathmann is an amazing person. She is so gifted and talented. Perhaps something that a number of people do not know is how spiritual she is. She is spiritually driven. She is a good teacher. She explains well. She leads fabulously. People want to be part of the ministry that she leads. She has a faithful following in our senior and festival choir. Some of these people have been here with her throughout her 25 years at Christ Memorial. And I'm thankful for their loyalty and for their persistence and their faithfulness It shows in how they sing the music.
I guess the faith building that accompanies people's talent, like for the orchestra people, that it's not just playing music, but it's playing music, as Dawn would say, to the glory of God, and to witness to people of your faith through your talent. But with Dawn, her exuberance and her approach is always solid, and in my mind brings out the best of performers.
Yeah, the staff of Christ Memorial has just always been kind of just wonderful to me, and I've appreciated it. The leadership really wants people who are called to an area, and I definitely feel called to ministry and called to the music ministry specifically, to use their God-given gifts. Yeah, when I think about what the choir means to me, I guess it's kind of like a lot of life, you know? Every year they mean more to me. I don't want to tear up here, but the people who give their time, the people who grow in their wisdom, you know, about life, the conversations that we have before and after choir about our families, about how, you know, our prayer requests with each other. And I guess hopefully when we grow older, we just don't grow chronologically, but we grow wiser. And part of that wisdom is just understanding how much God is in control and how much God loves us.
I joined the choir when I was in 8th grade. So, and I've been in the choir since then, and they encourage young adults to be part of the choir, and there are many of us who actually have joined because of that.
Being able to serve the Lord, being able to sing, it's a highlight of my week.
The things I like about this choir and about Dawn is that we all kind of sort of share the same passion for praising God with our voices.
You know, having Rod, my husband, in the choir has just been a blessing our whole married life.
Dawn, Pastor Greg loves you very much. You have been my ministry partner for over 25 years. We have shared many wonderful times together. In our ministry collaboration, it has always been, what is the best for the ministry? What blesses the people? How can we lead our ministry higher? I am thankful that you have come into my life and the life of this church. I know you have a very close ministry partner, your husband, Rod. God picked him for you, just the right one for you, and you know that. Dawn, you have a wonderful family. I know your sons, Rob and Marty. You honored me by being able to participate in their wedding ceremonies in Frankenmuth, Michigan, and Chicago, Illinois. God has blessed you with a wonderful family. God has blessed our church family, our faith family, by sending you into our midst. Pastor Greg loves you, and I want to thank you for your partnership in the gospel.